Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Liz, business coach for women of color. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the one thing that you can change in your marketing strategy if you're not hitting your income goals. Oftentimes, when we're not hitting our income goals, it's easy to just throw our entire marketing strategy out the window. if one thing isn't working, we just throw the whole thing away. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about how you don't have to scrap your whole marketing strategy. You don't have to throw out the whole plan. Just change one thing. Usually it's just one thing you need to do to tweak your strategy to start hitting your income goals. So I'm going to break this down super simple for you today. The first thing, we got to talk about doing a pre-check. A pre-check. Make sure that you're actually making enough offers, that's call to actions, directing people to where they need to go to work with you, where they need to sign up to book a sales call, where they need to register for a workshop, whatever it is that you're selling and offering. Are you making enough offers for it? Now, I call this the pre-check because if you don't give whatever you are offering at least 100 offers to give it a chance to show that it's potentially working, then you don't actually know if it's actually working or not. What we sometimes do is we start making offers for our service, and maybe we're consistent for maybe a couple weeks, maybe even for a month or two, and we don't hear anything. And then we just want to throw the whole thing out the window. Never mind that during that time, you've probably made maybe 10 offers. Maybe we've talked about our service maybe 15 times, if that. Nothing in the grand scheme of the noisy internet. So I have to mention this first and foremost. Are you making enough offers before you change anything with your marketing strategy? Make sure you're making enough offers. Now, I go for 100 offers minimum if you're doing something like short form content. But if you're doing more long form content, like maybe if the only place where you're making offers for your business is YouTube, for instance, or really long newsletters or really long blog posts, things that take a while out of effort and energy to create, then it might not be 100 offers. Maybe it might make sense for your goal to be at least 50 of those before you really say to yourself, I have enough evidence here to say that this is not working. But 9 times out of 10, the issue is that you are just not making enough offers. Now, let's imagine that you are making enough offers. You've given your short form content, whatever you're creating. Maybe it's Instagram posts, maybe it's Instagram stories, maybe it's, just regular emails, sales emails that aren't so long. You've done 100 of them. You've done 100 of those bad boys, and you still have not hit your income goal, right? So then what's the next step? The next one step that you should do is increase your reach on your current platform, if possible. For some, it might not be possible, but we'll talk about that. But for many different platforms, like Instagram, for instance, there are multiple different ways that you can share and create content other than just the one method that you feel comfortable with. So see if you can increase the reach on your current platform. What this might look like is if you really like showing up on Instagram stories, for instance. Instagram stories tend to disappear. They're not really boosted by an algorithm in the same way that, say, Reels are, for instance. So if you notice that you've made 100 offers and most of those offers are in your stories, but you haven't made any income, then increasing your reach on your current platform could look like maybe posting more content to Reels instead of to stories, or maybe making more Instagram posts instead of just the stories. This doesn't mean you have to get rid of stories 100%, but it does mean that you have to start thinking about ways that you can start to increase your reach and do things a little bit differently. So maybe adjust those percentages. Maybe instead of making half of your offers on stories, maybe only make a quarter of your offers on stories, or maybe even less. And then you let stories be something that just comes to you in the moment that you get to do for fun, while your 100 offers that you're actually committing to and tracking are things that are done that can actually help you get more reach on the platform. So you can even use the same idea for maybe even YouTube. YouTube has shorts now. So maybe if you feel like, your long form videos aren't really getting the reach that you'd like, try experimenting with shorts. Many different platforms have many different options now for how you can create content. But one of the common things that I do see is that people get really comfortable posting on stories, which usually do disappear. And it's nice because you have that comfort of, okay, I can say whatever I want on my stories because it won't be here in 48 hours. But the unfortunate side effect of that is that new people don't often get to see your content. And another aspect of stories is that even people who are already in your current audience may not always see your stories or have them pushed in their faces by the algorithm on Instagram, for instance. So even your current audience, not all of them may be watching your stories. So try and expand, just, one level of expansion by increasing your reach on that platform. Switch things up. Now, if you're either, you've tried switching things up and extending your reach to another platform, and after you've given that 100 offers, say for instance, you're unable to hit maybe your next income goal, maybe that last method you did, it just doesn't, it has like a bit of a cap showing up, a bit of an organic cap, which is natural and happens. So maybe you're looking to kind of extend your reach further. Or maybe you're on a platform or you're doing a method of marketing that doesn't really have an extra way to increase your reach within the platform. So for instance, email, like you just send emails and emails are just emails. Like you have to be responsible for growing your own email list. So instead, go beyond your current platform, extend out that comfort zone and go beyond that platform. So it could look like, maybe you really like emails, but in order to start increasing your reach, maybe you want to start incorporating some YouTube videos, or maybe you want to start incorporating blog posts, something that's backed by SEO, search engine optimization, right? So take it that one next step, and maybe you can expand your reach by expanding beyond your current platform. As a newer solopreneur, I don't recommend trying to handle more than 2 platforms at a time, because that can get really chaotic, especially as you're still trying to cultivate that consistency and to maintain it over time. It's way easier to start off with one and then layer on a second one as you get more comfortable. So yeah, no more than 2 just to start out with, but think about ways that you can start to expand your reach beyond the current platform. There are a lot of different ways to do this. You can create content and distribute it in many different ways on many different platforms. So really you can get as creative as you'd like and stick to the methods that feel good to you, just doing it in a different way or on a different platform to help expand your reach. Now, tracking is key. Tracking is key, whatever it is that you're doing, because you want to make sure that you're tracking so that you can actually check the facts. In moments, you will have moments where you're starting to wonder, is this working? I'm hearing crickets. What's going on? In those moments, you want to be able to hold on to the facts of what you've done and what has actually happened. And after making your 100 offers, to actually evaluate and assess if you need or want to make changes, you have to be able to have facts to look at to see what it is that you've done so that you know what it is you can change. Like if you're not even cognizant of the fact that you have made most of your offers, say on stories, for instance, then you're not even aware that maybe your audience isn't even really seeing what it is that you offer because the stories are disappearing and most of them aren't really able to see them in time. If you're not tracking what you're doing, then you're not even going to be aware of that to even start to tweak it and make conscious decisions and intentional changes, right? So tracking is key no matter what it is that you're doing. If you're doing your offers through posts, track it. YouTube videos, track it. Sending emails, track it. To make sure that you know what you're doing and how much effort you're putting forth, and you can easily know what it is that you can tweak or how you can do that one tweak to increase your reach either within the platform of your choice or outside of the platform of your choice. So tracking is Key. And then you can always know where you are along the progress along the way to 100 offers. So make sure you're tracking. And then last but not least, don't ignore any feelings of resistance that you may have. When you start to look at what it is that you're doing and you start thinking about making changes, maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe I should start incorporating YouTube videos or start incorporating reels or even ads, for instance. Like, don't ignore feelings of resistance. If you have made a conscious decision to attempt a particular strategy, to change something, to tweak something, whatever it is, but you feel some discomfort with it, you feel hesitant, you feel kind of afraid, or maybe you're just procrastinating with it in general, even though you know it's what you want to do, like, don't ignore that, because there's something underneath that is making you feel afraid of taking that next step. Often, these different strategies, these different approaches to these social media platforms are super simple, and most people kind of know about them by now, but they don't attempt them because in their mind, they think that they can't do it or they're not ready for it. The idea of increasing their reach, increasing their exposure can actually trigger a bit of an internal response, because you're afraid of exposing more people to what it is that you have to say. You're afraid of that rejection. You're afraid of asking a wider audience, are you good enough? So don't ignore those feelings, because those feelings left unaddressed will definitely hinder you as you try to grow your business and increase your reach and your marketing strategy so you can actually hit your income goals. Now, there's a difference between identifying feelings of resistance that you could definitely unpack through coaching and stepping into territory of doing business not necessarily the way you want to do business. And I am 100% a proponent of doing business your way. Like, all the different ways that you can do this thing, especially with the access we have now through social media and the internet, like, you can 100% do this thing your way. And you also have to ask yourself, is your income goal, your current income goal, is that just as valuable to you right now as marketing your business in this one particular way? Ask yourself that honest question. And if you really, really, for instance, love and adore email so much and you're terrified of social media, but you're not able to hit the income goal that you want or need to be able to survive, let alone thrive, then maybe it's worth it to ask yourself if there are ways that you can increase your email list, but in a way that is more comfortable for you and your nervous system, something that can still possibly feel good to you. And if you're having trouble figuring out what that is, that's also something that can be uncovered through coaching. There's lots of ways to do this. One way to understand if maybe the issue is something more mindset related, something that's not so much just a strategic thing that you don't want to do. Boil down what it is that you're doing to its most basic level. Like, is it short form written content, long form written content? Is it short form video, long form video? Like, boil it down to its most basic building block of what it is. And then see if you can do that on another platform or in another way that will increase your reach that will serve your growth goals. And if there are options for that, but you feel hesitant doing that, then that's a good indication that maybe the issue is a bit more mindset related, because you are technically doing the same thing, just on a different platform or in a different area of that platform. So that's definitely a clue that maybe there's something a bit more internal going on. So that's it. There's nothing wrong with your strategy. If you're not hitting your income goals, it's usually just because there's just one next tweak you got to make. These tweaks are normal because as you continue to grow and increase your reach and you have income goals that you do need to hit, especially if you're looking for your business to do more than just help you survive, like you're looking to actually thrive, right? Then this is going to be a normal aspect of what you do in your business, evaluating and then choosing one way to tweak it, to tweak your strategy, and then giving it another 100 offers to prove itself. Okay. So let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about this concept. Super simple. It'll literally take you all the way to whatever income goal you want, to be perfectly honest. And if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, spots reopen up in November. So join the wait list. Use the link in the description box to get on that wait list. Folks on the wait list are also getting drip fed chapters of my new ebook, Roadmap to Thriving. So definitely don't miss out on that, because that has incredible insight on literally every aspect of business, the stuff that we really just don't see on the social media highlight reel, but we really do need to learn if we want to build sustainable, thriving businesses. All right. Take care.